first thing we have to acknowledge that this movement was inspired by the Arab Spring. That is, the working class in the Arab world have had it with bad regimes, let's call them. Unemployment was very high. The conditions in the workplace were bad, especially unemployment among the educated. And believe it or not, the same thing is going on here in the United States. Unemployment was rising and the money is concentrating on the top with a system that does not allow the people, the base, basically, to express their political views properly, probably because it was only Democratic or Republicans, so there are not as many options. One additional option is what we have in the Arab world. That's why from day one, my wife and I decided to come out here. We couldn't be in Syria. I'm from Syria, she's American. We couldn't be in the Middle East to support our revolution. We thought we would do this here, and we were really surprised that all these people do want to see change in the way Washington conduct not only its foreign policy toward the Middle East, but even domestic policy, its financial and...
Yeah, I'd like to point out that in a lot of these regimes that are tumbling rapidly in Tunisia, in Syria, in Egypt, it's a small, elite, well-funded group of people that were in charge for a very, very long time, and the people shook that off and said, we want a people's government. And I'd like to express that here in the United States, we do have a very similar, small, elite group of people who own a huge concentration of all of the institutions in society that have a say in what's supposed to be democracy. So, although this is happening in the third world and it's inspired by a third world movement, the Arab Spring, we want to express solidarity here in New York in that we have the same elitist one-party rule, which is corporations, Wall Street firms, and hedge funds.
Would you have, a few months back, would you have thought that the Arab world would show the way to the Western countries?
Oh, that's a good question. Actually, no. Nobody expected that to happen. All these regimes were taken by surprise, to be frank, and they didn't know that people could actually carry out this thing, starting with Tunisia, of course. We all know the story of Boulazizi, who lit himself on fire just protesting, and it actually sparked a huge revolution, not only in Tunisia, and then moved to Egypt, Syria, but now we see it even here. We have comrades protesting in Spain, in France, in England, in Greece, everywhere. The people, the working class everywhere is united together and standing up to the advantage that they've been taken advantage of by the system that we're not sharing with the workers.
And it's a beautiful thing to have this reverse hegemony where the East is dictating how the West is going to conduct a revolution.
Excellent. That's a good point. Frankly, I feel that Syrians have better chance changing their government than United States people changing the constitution, the electoral college, taking money out of politics, changing even the Congress, instead of replacing it with the parliamentary system. All members of Congress are what? There are lawyers. There are no teachers in Congress. There are no workers in Congress. There are no student representatives in Congress. Congress is lawyers only. I know it's a legislative brand, but they cannot listen or suffer or know more than people who are on the job themselves. That's why I believe that the parliamentary system is way more democratic than Congress.
And just like, I know this might seem like kind of an out there comparison, but just like the Alawites in Syria Syria have a secret police who make sure that nothing goes on that operates against the interest of what that small minority of people are doing. We have the exact same thing here with the NYPD, who was just donated $4.6 million by Chase Manhattan in order to tighten security in the city's limits.
That was a shocking news, yes. JP Morgan just donated $5 million to NYPD to enhance their anti-riot equipment. What riot? Who can see riot? Look at the peaceful protests.
You have tonight your Syrian flag. It is important for you to show to these people that you're Syrian today.
I'm proud to be Syrian.
As am I, although my name is Mexican American.